Namaste, everyone. So, did you find your passion? If yes, then life should feel perfect now, right? Like one of those Instagram reels with flute music, golden sunlight. Except it doesn't. At least it didn't for me. In my last video, I shared how I lost weight, reconnected old hobbies. For a while, it really felt like I had cracked the code. Wearing nicer clothes, getting compliments. It was all good. But then the universe said, congratulations, now level 2. Turns out, finding your passion doesn't mean you are done. It just means you have entered a whole new phase of confusion. I was still getting irritated when people didn't clean up after their dogs in the woods. Still yelling in my head at reckless drivers. Still blaming the government for everything as if I could fix it all. Still blaming everyone but myself for tiny things I didn't like. Some days I even hated my favorite Hindi songs which I loved. Wished I had never had cats. Exercises a few days felt like a punishment, and deep fried food that became my new therapist on few occasions. Nothing outside had changed. People were the same, situations were the same, only I was fluctuating. Sometimes off, sometimes very off. Around that time, a few things began shifting quietly. I was doing yoga regularly, and for some days after practice, I just sat down with my eyes closed, just quiet for a few minutes, and it felt very peaceful, familiar. I wanted more of those moments, but they weren't always the same. Some days they felt divine, other days just boring. Even most days were boring. So I did what many of us do. I turned to YouTube and Google. Surfed like a headless chicken from good food to good life to good gurus to good habits. I listened to everyone I could find on the internet. One day I heard Sadhguru say, if you stay on a vegetarian diet, your meditation improves a lot. I thought, okay, let me try. Now, I was a hardcore non vegetarian food lover. My family was convinced I wouldn't last a week. But something had shifted, the urge never came back. It was like someone rewired me from within. I started listening talks on gratitude, the subconscious mind, ancient rituals, magical living, everything. But three things happened in parallel, shaping what I all call now level 3. I read the book The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy around November 2022. At the same time, I was trying to learn swimming from scratch. Backstroke managed. Front stroke was a complete disaster. Either my head went under or my limbs refused to cooperate. My head, my legs, and my hands, they never cooperated. Even the instructor gave up. After a few weeks of disastrous swimming lessons, I thought, let me try this power of subconscious mind by visualizing. So there I was. Every breath, every kick, every stroke, I imagined how I am swimming. Every night in meditation, and when I woke up in the morning, I imagined it clearly, vividly. And within a week, I was swimming, not Olympic level, but enough to shock my instructor, like I had a software update just over a week. That's when it clicked. Effort, faith, subconsciousness leads to results. Second thing was one evening on the train, I heard the Bharat Echoes theme song, a show I adored as a child. Suddenly, questions exploded. What was there before creation? That's a valid question. Who made all of this? Classic existential spiral. I thought maybe quantum physics held the key. Try to understand it. Didn't understand anything and gave up. Grapes were sour. So I turned to my parents. They suggested some books. But honestly, science started sounding like Sanskrit. Then, as if YouTube was watching my spiritual chaos and my magical living dreams, a video popped up on Patanjali Yoga Sutras. One thing hit me like lightning. It said, if you speak the truth, what you say becomes the truth. And so on about all the Yamas and Niyamas. I said, wait, Hogwarts, magic. I was mesmerized. Soon after, Swami Muktananda, a very humble, deeply wise sannyasi, he gave me a book. It was on Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Meanwhile, my parents and my childhood Vedic teacher, Swami Debrat, who had quietly guided me through my growing years, noticed my spiritual disruption. They gently nudged me towards pranayam and chanting Om or Gayatri mantra. Gayatri mantra is something my mother taught long ago, returned softly to the foreground. So, all this quantum curiosity, Patanjali's wisdom, food transformation, meditation, subconscious experiments, Gayatri mantra, everything was happening together like a khichdi of my soul, as if someone somewhere was directing it all from behind the curtain. Then, January 2023, Delhi Airport. I picked up a random book, A Million Thoughts by Om Swami. Never heard of him, flipped it, put it back. Something nudged me again. I picked it up again, put it back. Third time, I bought it, but didn't read it. Weeks later, YouTube showed me some of his videos. I kept skipping until one day I clicked on a video on the Gayatri Mantra where he said, in a house where women are not respected, that person can never benefit from the Gayatri Mantra. That really shook me. I googled him, and what I read shook me even more. He left behind millions in wealth overnight to become a sannyasi. Then he meditated in the Himalayan caves for months, up to 22 hours a day. I was like, wait, 22 hours? How? Did his knees not hurt? When did he even eat? I can't even sit for an hour without adjusting my legs or checking if everything is around me alive or not. But there he was, living proof that something greater was possible if you're willing to walk the path. And yet, he never demands it, he just invites you with gentleness. I googled again, saw the book A Million Thoughts. It sounded familiar. I ran to myself, and there it was, just sitting there like it knew. Swamiji teaches deep meditation, breath work, discipline, all of it. But for me, what stood out were the virtues of a meditator. What he calls the mother of all meditations: truthfulness, compassion, humility, gratitude, empathy, faith. That's what he calls the mother of all meditations. Not just techniques, but integrity. Not just silence, but sincerity. It was not about just sitting in a posture, but being a human. So, Satya, truthfulness, came up again, reminding me of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So I thought, let me try how hard it can be, to be honest, to say the truth. Turns out, very. Saying no politely without sounding rude, that's an Olympic level spiritual yoga. Mind you, I still didn't know Om Swamiji yet. I just skimmed through one of his books, watched a couple of videos, because honestly, I was still chasing miracles, thinking the universe would suddenly reveal all the mysteries because, well, I was special. I deserve answers. That is what I thought. All ego. rest adds spirituality. But the journey continues. So, in the next episode, I'll share how I got obsessed with the near death experiences and the miracles hidden in Patanjali Yoga. Let's just say I wished for intensity, and the universe gave me a full blown will pull. So, yes, be careful what you wish for. Until next time, stay kind, stay real. Namaste.